Poetry asks us to be brave because it subtly tears our lies apart and makes us confront truth. Good poetry can't be taken lightly. This is Sunil Bhandari, and you are listening to Uncut Poetry on death, if it happens to stop by. On the dining table, we finally started having real conversations on what would happen if COVID hit one of us. First, the quarantine zone in the home, the room most cut off, but with television and views of both sunrise and sunset. We decided to put a table across the corridor for food and love notes to be left. If it was she, there would be food to be got. She said, that's the only challenge of my getting sick or to die. We looked at each other with damp eyes as I said, no, you know that's not right. If it turned out to be me, I said, you have first got to know where the money lies and what the passwords are. I'll have the list ready in 2 days, my love. Things are well arranged. And there will be so many ready by your side. Then we both looked at the empty space we had conjured beyond the comfort and the pain, the infinitely small fragments of ourselves kept at the threshold of what we meant. The emptiness of dying for no reason at all, being a number without a beating heart, a mere whisper in a crowded universe, no longer in the only world we knew as ours. There was time which time had given to stop the evening skies from darkening, for us to find a silence together which would be alive, even if one of us was not. COVID was an incredible time for humankind. Rarely have each one of us confronted in real time and with examples pouring in daily death as an occurrence which could hit any one of us suddenly, irrevocably, and often in lonely quarantine. Reality and confronting it daily as a tangible occurrence became a horror story. We were forced to confront our worst fears and ironically realize our biggest strengths. Because embedded in the tales of heartbreak and horror were also the ordinary, unsung stories of resilience and recognition. Confronting the fragility of life helped repair relationships by engendering conversations. As we sat in front of our worst fears, we realized the preciousness of what we already had and how we could lose it all in the blink of an eye. Conversations were had, bitterness poured out, regrets laid out gently on the table. Love was kindled, babies were made. For those who survived, it was rejuvenation, often resurrection of what was secretly moribund inside. Sharing of chores became a symbol of how people came together for days on end. There were conversations had of deaths, of what will be missed, of what had gone right between people and what they loved about each other. When you are in an enclosed space for months on end, when life itself is uncertain, what we consider as bad suddenly seems inconsequential, and what floods our hearts are the things we would miss about each other. Passion for work transcended to become love for each other, which in turn became a worship of life. And in strange ways, we were, for that brief, oh, too brief time, better for having confronted and seen at close quarters mortality itself. This is Sunil Bhandari, and you were listening to Uncut Poetry. Did you enjoy what you heard? Rate Uncut Poetry on Spotify or leave a message on Apple Podcasts. And follow Uncut Poetry on Ghana, JioSaavn, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. And if you loved this episode, share it with someone you love. See you next week.